almond meringues with raspberries and passion fruit crème fraiche. First thing I'm going to show you is of course how to make the almond meringues. Really very easy because we all know basic recipe for the meringue. First thing of course is just to whisk up the egg whites. And only really to that soft peak before we begin to add the sugar. And now I'm going to add just 50 grams of caster sugar. Well, of course, here I've got 100 grams, so let's add about half of that now, just to start off that kind of meringue process. And now I'm going to add just that little bit more. In fact, we can pop that all in now, and we'll just carry on whisking till we come to that firm peak. Let's have a look. Now you can see that is holding itself really quite nicely there. So that is what you're calling really a firm peak. Something I do want to do, however, is just make sure that we're not missing any of this. You can hear it. That little sort of scratching sound is sugar, still not dissolved. There. So I want to make sure, just scraping it around a little bit, and then we'll carry on whisking. There we are, making sure just by lifting it there, it makes sure you release any of that excess meringue still sitting on the whisks. Now, I said almond meringue, and that's exactly what we're going to make. We've got the basic meringue mix here. You can see it doesn't want to move at all, so that is at its firm peak. The next thing is just very gently, and I mean gently, little at a time, just scatter in ground almonds. This is exactly the same quantity as the sugar. Really gently work that through, making sure it's well combined, but at the same time, not really overworking and breaking down that lovely meringue that you've made. And it becomes thicker, heavier. Let's pop all that in. And you can see now how thick this is. And the reason you put in as much almond as this is to make sure that we have a full strength of flavour. That's it. That is an almond meringue. Look at that. And now, baking tray. I've put a little bit of parchment paper on it, grease the tray, parchment on top. So now we're just going to put on these little dollops, and they can be any shape you like. You can do them in little peaks. You can try and make them into little biscuits, move it around a little bit, trying to give it that circular motion and then just lift it off, or just putting on a few dollops as well. Right, so let's pop these in the oven. And you want this on about 160 degrees until they are really nice and crispy with a sort of a slight little tinge on them, that slight little colour. They're not going to be perfectly white because of course we've got the almonds in there. But anyway, that's the first stage. The next thing of course is passion fruit. And all I want to do is just scoop out all of these lovely seeds. Just carefully, because otherwise all I'm going to do is draw out all of this, and I don't really want that in my lovely crème fraiche flavour. Now, let me show you what we've got. I told you, all individual. You scrape too much, they'll all be joined together. Right, crème fraiche, 150 mils. Now, something else I'm going to add to this is a little touch of vanilla. Let's stir all this up. And now let's put these in, but I want to keep just a little bit back as well to garnish at the very end. 1 or 2 teaspoons icing sugar. And that's it. See you in a little while. So that's it. I think about 25 minutes have passed. Let's take a look at the meringues. Now there you are. You see? Just starting to crisp up. Let's take those out. They look about right. But I want to show you something because they're going to have, you can see there, slightly soft sort of texture. Now you can imagine inside, the nicest thing about that is they're going to be slightly gooey, but around the outside they're really nice and crispy. As they cool, they'll become even crisper. And you can see, look, they look ordinary. They look something really simple. You're going into a biscuit shop and quite often they'll give them to you looking like that. All the cracks on top, misshapen. It's about flavour. That's what counts, absolute flavour. So we've got raspberries, as many or as few as you wish. I love them, so I want to be nice and generous. Next thing, that lovely passion fruit cream. The lovely little seeds. Let's go for one of the larger ones. Just a little bit of mint in there. Touch of icing sugar to finish. It's almond meringues with raspberries and passion fruit crème fraîche.